Hey guys, what's up? It's Teeds here, coming at you with a Tips with Teeds in College Football 25. Do you struggle playing against the CPU? Whether it's All-American, Heisman, just feel like no matter what you do on defense, you just cannot get a stop and it's extremely difficult to stop the CPU? Well, I have the answer for you. But before I jump into the video, if you could please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and be on the lookout for more tips with Teeds in College Football 25. So the formation that we're going to be looking at is the nickel, and you're going to be going with double mug. Definitely been the meta ever since the game came out, but I highly recommend using this defense, especially versus CPU, because the CPU is very, very predictable and very, very easy to stop. Even if you have not the best defense, first off, I'm going to be going up against a run play, and I'm just going to show you how it generally works and what to do. So before we even get into the play itself, what I want to do is show you the coach adjustments. In order to do coach adjustments, you click right stick, and what I always do is set up the option defense read key to conservative, and that'll focus on the quarterback every single time, so your defensive end will not crash. He'll stay in out there just in case, because it's always better to have the running back run up against your defensive line compared to the quarterback pulling the ball and taking it outside with no help at all. And then the defense pitch key, which is rare. You don't really face too many option teams. You might when it comes to obviously the triple option and stuff like that, but I always have them focus on the pitch, which goes on the aggressive side of things. And that's it for me. That's all I do. Conservative for the option defense read key and aggressive for the option defense pitch key. Now, back to the play itself. You're going to be going through a double mug in the nickel formation, and you're going to be going on the far right to mid blitz. This is what I use every single time that I play defense against the CPU. It's cheesy, it works, and it's very, very effective against the run. Especially if you don't have good defensive tackles, you're always going to have an extra defender in the box to help stop that run. So generally speaking, I use this first down and 10, second down and 10, second down and 5, unless it's third and long or second and really long, like over 15, like second and 20 or something like that. I use mid blitz. I know it's man-to-man. I know it puts your cornerbacks on an island. They have no help, but if you're able to get pressure, it doesn't really matter. So keep that in mind. That is what I go with, mid blitz. So the offense is just going to be running an inside zone. Very, very simple. Whether it's inside or outside, it's very simple. But one of the biggest things that I do every single time is change the defensive line adjustment. So in order to do that, you press left on the D-pad, and then you press right stick to the left, and with that, your defensive line will now slant left. You want to put the slant where you think they're going to run the ball. By doing that, you crash through the gaps that the offensive line is trying to stop. And a lot of these teams, especially in the CPU, and when you're facing a CPU, they run out of the shotgun primarily. And with that being said, it makes it easy to guess which side they're going to run it from. Very rarely will they do a counter to the right side of this formation. 99% of the time, they're going to be running to the left side of the field. And because of that, it's easy to just guess the point of attack and slant left. You don't even have to shift your defensive line to the left. Point of attack, slant left. Because if you shift your defensive line to the left side, well, what happens if they pass the ball? Well, that might throw things off there. So you want to keep your defensive line where they are and change the point of attack to slant left in this situation. Now, the next thing I do is I always take the safety that is guarding the running back and move him up to about like 5 or 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So right here, I'm right over him basically. If he goes left, I got him. If he goes right and do a pass play, I can guard him as well right there. But if you're here, way back here, well, that makes it a lot harder for you to make any play on the ball, and you give a lot of open space to a running back who is very, very fast. So if you just move him up here within 5 yards, you are able to make a play on the run game, and you're able to help out on the pass game, just in case they're passing the ball. But obviously in this situation, they are running the ball. I just want to show you how effective it is to stop the run here. And obviously these are two powerhouse teams. This works with anybody. I just did it in my last dynasty game that I played with Appalachian State. Everyone that voted for that, thank you. Hopefully that video will be out in the next week or so. Be on the lookout for that. But regardless, this is what you do. You set up the defensive line shift again by pressing left on the D-pad and then right stick to the left. And then that is how you slant the line. As now you can see that they're now slanting to the left, which is great. So now let's run the play and see and show you what happens. I run to the left here. I'm able just to hang out on the outside. And what I like to do here with that safety, as you saw, I waited. I did not try, as I make the adjustment again really quick, I do not try to cut through the hole. I try to be the one that sets the edge. And for me, setting the edge, that's key because sometimes there's no gap or no hole right here, so they try to take it to the outside. And if you get caught right in here, well, then he's going to have a ton of space to run, and there's going to be nothing and no one to stop him out here. So you are basing the last line of defense in this situation as they make the defensive adjustments again. They hike the ball. There's a hole right there. He doesn't take it, but I'm right there to tackle. If I miss him, that's fine because I do slow him down. It's not the end of the world if I do not tackle him, but I do want to slow him down to give my defenders a chance to get there in the event that I do not tackle him. And again, I'm not hit sticking or anything. I'm just simply pressing square. And look, there's a hole in the middle. He tries to hit it. I'm still right there as well. So just keep that in mind. That's all you have to do. This is it. I'm playing on Heisman right now. Nothing fancy, but this will stop the run 9 times out of 10. Obviously, if they break a few tackles, well, then you're going to have a very, very difficult time here as you're able to gain tackle right there. Again, one more time, I'm going to show you. You do the point of attack adjustments on the defensive line, bring up your safety, and then kind of follow him. See how he's trying to get outside there? See, look, he broke a tackle there. That is obviously rare, but if you have a bad team and they have a really good running back, that will happen more often than not. So you do not want to go in there and go in for a hit stick tackle. You just want to go in there and tackle him, slow him down. That obviously was rare. There's a hole right there, and boom. 9 times out of 10, you're going to stop it, and it is very effective against the run, and it's very easy. You can easily flip this play and point of attack, change that to the right, but that's all you're going to have to do here. Is look, he thought there was a hole there, he didn't, and I'm able to stop him. Well, it took him about 4 guys, but still, they're not going to be able to get too much there. So again, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 5, 1st and 5. You want to run this play consistently. If you're not comfortable with your corners on an island, maybe, press them, because that's not a bad idea either. It also stops the receivers from getting any space. But this is all that I do. Move my safety up to about 5 yards and then play the run. Boom, boom, running the ball, trying to get to the outside, not able to, and they lost some yards. So now, let's see what happens when I do when 2nd and long or 3rd and long. So when it comes to 2nd and long, like I mentioned earlier, or 3rd and long, I go with the cover 3 sky. This play is absolutely overpowered, especially now when it's zone. I know there's a match one, but I just go with the zone. As you see that you have the 2 cornerbacks on the outside, they're covering the outside streak. You have those purple little zones. They're going to be covering the corner routes, which are pretty OP in here as well, especially if you're running Tampa 2 a lot. And then you have the linebackers that are covering the middle. I have found a way to bait the CPU into throwing a pick more often than not, especially when it comes to long 3rd down. So even if they throw it, it's a bad idea and you have a good opportunity to pick it. But if you don't pick it, it's still going to be 4th down. Sometimes they've caught it. Again, none of these are foolproof, but they're going to boost your chances to stop the offense more often than not. So I just got a simple 5 wide here. What I like to do is anytime you use the cover 3 sky in double mug, what I like to do is bring that outside linebacker with the C over him back to the inside. Because when he's on the outside, one, if you are playing against an actual person, a user, well, then it's obvious that you're in zone and you're not blitzing. And this is one of the tells that I have in one of my other videos, that if you are going against the double mug defense and you're not sure if they're blitzing or if they're going zone, well, this is one of the tells. If there's enough players on the outside, you'll have the linebacker who is covering them. So what I like to do is I like to bring in that linebacker back to where he's supposed to be to kind of make it look like that number 10 receiver or tight end is open to try to bait the CPU. So let's see what happens here with this play. When he hikes it, you drop back and go directly to the right side. Boom. Got nothing there. Again, there's nothing for him to throw to. Again, I'll bring my linebacker into the inside here, make it look like 10's open. They hike it, throwing it, boom. Easy bait, easy interception. And if you don't believe me, take a look at these clips right here. Like, these are honestly insane. These are from my Fresno State dynasty, and these are just a few clips of me baiting the Heisman CPU. And these aren't even that good of linebackers. As long as you're like in the mid-70s, as long as you wait for that ball to be hiked and take a direct route to the corner, you're going to look like you're covering the tight end. And then you're going to keep going if they don't throw it, and then you end up covering the receiver on the outside, and you pick the ball off more often than not. You might have a few drops, but you're still going to stop the play and bait the CPU every single time. So let's get back to this. I'm going to go over here, bring it back to the middle. Again, I'm trying my best to try to replicate this. I don't know what the CPU runs against me, but this is what I'm trying to replicate it, so I show you guys that it's easy to bait the CPU into picks. If you take a look at my Fresno State, I got ran into right there. That didn't help, but I forced a bad throw, which was good. But my Fresno State dynasty, I think my linebacker ended up with like 13 to like 15 interceptions just because of this trick right here that I found out, where it looks like I'm covering number 10, and then I keep on going to the outside. Oh, even though I got ran into there, he didn't throw it. Incomplete regardless because he had hit the drag. I'm going to try this one more time, try to get one more pick before, because it's kind of hard to show you in practice mode. But boom, interception, one nice block there. And if there wasn't a receiver, I might have taken it to the house. But I mean, that's it. That's it. I literally just run 2 plays majority of the time. Sometimes, depending on the situation, I might just go with a cover 4 palms. But for the most part, this is going to be the play that's going to get you a lot of stops. And also, you're probably going to pick up a lot of sacks too, because when you have your linebackers right over the ball, the offensive line actually assumes that you're blitzing. So when you back off and you don't blitz, you kind of throw them out of whack, and sometimes you might get a blown coverage on the offensive line to the defensive lineman that could benefit you and pick up a sack quicker than normal, just because the offensive line is accounting for you here. So that's another thing to think about. Look at that. Easy sack right there. So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you guys did like the video, please leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and be on the lookout for more tips with tees in college football 25.